This is an interesting one. The taxman is planning a crackdown on what it terms creative accounting. Many techniques used to reduce the tax bill in companies are in their sights. Not only will offenders be made to pay their taxes, but they will also be hit with a 200% penalty. Let's give you more on this, particularly if you're a small business owner. Standing by to talk to us in Cape Town is Willem Oberholzer, who's a tax associate with BDO. Willem, good evening to you and welcome. Has this been expected?
Yes, Jeremy, I think it's been expected for a while, considering the changes in the economic conditions. The recession hitting South Africa as it has over the last year, we're feeling the brunt of it now. Revenue collections are down, and I think it's a natural step for the revenue authorities to start really bolstering their collection drive and to really start looking at small, medium enterprises to collect their tax bills and to scrutinize those accounts more accurately.
Well, what's your understanding, Willem, of creative accounting? What does the taxman mean by that?
I think it should be seen in perspective. IFRS standards, or the International Financial Reporting Standards, require uniform reporting globally. That means that financial accountants are accounting for transactions in a certain manner. The income tax legislation, however, is vastly complex and different from IFRS. To say that it's creative accounting, I think this is a knee-jerk reaction from the private sector to the increased collections and monitoring from the revenue authorities to collect money.
Isn't the challenge, though, for anybody, whether it's an individual taxpayer or a company taxpayer, to stay on the right side of the law, but to make it as beneficial as possible and to find those loopholes?
I think planning your tax affairs is becoming critical. Any one of the companies in the country should start to realize that the South African taxman is one of your largest creditors and will remain so, and those managed. It's the view of BDO, both South Africa and internationally, that we have to start educating our clients and the market in general to really determine whether their spending on tax compliance is equal to any other risk that they're managing on their other creditors, which we found to be, in some instances, falling short, or that is causing the knee-jerk reaction that we are seeing now in the market from the increased collections by the revenue authorities and their move to a greater compliance.
When we're talking about falling short, is this simple negligence, or is it willful criminality by those small companies who are looking to take the gap illegally?
I think in the vast majority of cases this is negligence, or negligence is maybe too harsh a word for it. It would be ignorance. You cannot expect the layman on the street to interpret a vastly complex set of legislation like the Income Tax Act. For those offences, your penalties could range from 5% to 20% or 25%. Where the taxpayers are found to have committed tax fraud knowingly, those penalties can go up to 200%.
Surely there's a case to be made to simplify the Tax Act then?
No, I don't think you can. I think the economic conditions are changing, the world is becoming more complex, and the revenue legislation needs to keep update. Just go and look at the Economic Summit and the number of DTAs that's been published to prevent money flowing between jurisdictions and slipping through any tax nets for that matter.
All right, Willem, very quickly, I just need an answer to this one. How then, as a result of this announcement from SARS, should small companies with immediate effect be looking at changing their strategy? What's the starting point? What do they need to do?
They need to go to their professional systems and really do an assessment of what their tax risks are, and to really focus on managing SARS as they would any other creditor, and to ensure that they don't fall foul of the Income Tax Act.
Otherwise, as you say, a 200% penalty. Willem Oberholzer, thank you very much indeed. Tax Associate with BDO, live for Newsnight in Cape Town.